All right, I'm going to attempt to do analysis assignment number 3, factor analysis using the banking data from class. So once again, I just want to emphasize that this is not the actual data. It's just a different data set, but all the steps should be very similar. So the first thing I also want to point out is I changed this information just for my assignment to basically the information that people were surveyed on. So these were kind of the 5 questions that they were asked to rate, and also the number of people surveyed. In the lecture class, banking data was 50. I think in your assignment it's 30, but that information will actually be necessary. So just when starting, be sure to read all this information because it'll be really helpful when doing the assignment. All right, so let's get started. So number 1. All right, so first thing I'm going to load my data in. And I haven't really read through this, so okay, the correlation matrix. Okay, so let's just analyze, correlate by rate. Load all the factors in. You don't have to change anything else. Hit OK. So it's processing. All right. Says pretty straightforward questions. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my snipping tool to copy this in. So 1A is done. Okay, B, what is the correlation between 3 and 4? Okay, so we 3, 4, 0.181. See that? 0.181. What is the correlation between 4 and 5? 4, 5, negative 0.907. 4, 5, negative 0.987. Negative 0.907. Yeah. Which statements do you expect to load together? So in this one, we're just looking for the positive ones. So we expect 1 and 3 to load together, 2 and 4 to load together, and 1 and, oh, we already said 1 and 3. So we expect let me just double check statements 2 and 4. Yeah, 0.87. Okay, we are done with number 1. I'm just going to bold all these so it's easier to. Okay, number 2, do a factor analysis of the data with Varimax rotation, keeping 2 factors. Okay, so let's analyze dimension reduction factor. Load all 4 in, rotation, Varimax. Okay. Alright, we don't have to change anything else. Hit OK. Report the rotated matrix component. That means we gotta copy this one in. I'm gonna use my snipping tool to grab it. Remember, you can just copy and paste it in. I think it's easier with the snipping tool. Alright, 2A is done. Alright, 2B, how much of the variance is retained with only 2 factors? Okay. 92 point, it's right here. 2 factors, 92.337%. what is the right of the first factor? So that is just this number right here. So 2.876. What variables load in the first factor? So that we have to look at the rotated components matrix, which we copied up here. So number one, we have x2 and x4. Just bold these. What variables load in its second factor? All right, x1, x3. That's it. Ooh, I screwed up on the first one. Also x5 loads. So x1 and x3. Interpret the two factors. All right. So this one, we have to go back up to what they mean. So x1 and x3. So factor number 2. The internet is not a very secure place to enter financial information. I am extremely afraid of identity theft. All right, so factor 2, they are afraid of online transactions. Factor 1 is all the other ones. It's not a very secure place to enter financial. Oh, sorry. Factor 2, they like um, assessing account information at any time. They like to pay bills electronically. And it was a negative. I like to carry a cash run. So they actually don't like to carry a cash run. Okay, so this one is they like internet banking. And really on your assignment, I mean it's totally up to your interpretation. It should be fairly obvious what it should be. But you just kind of compare the factors and what questions kind of which factors correlated with which of these, and it kind of will kind of be obvious. Okay, number 3, we have to create a graph. Um, well, first we have to create the factors. So the first one, and we'll call, in this one it was factor 2, 4, and 5. So this one was like internet banking. And I am just getting this, adding these together, x2, x4, and then I minus this because this is a negative x5. Hit OK. Variable name contains an illegal character. I don't think let's try that. You probably can't have any spaces. That's why I probably said that. And number 2, factor number 2. Factor number 2, I'm adding x1 and x3. This one is they distrust online banking. Okay. So I'm just going to check that these are made, and they were. And now I'm going to make my graph. So go to Graphs, Legacy Dialogs, Scatter dash dot, and I'm going to put like internet banking in the x-axis and distrust online banking in the y-axis and click OK. And we get this graph. Let's go back to the question. So I have to paste the plot below. So I'm going to use the snipping tool. Awesome. So B, how many segments of the consumers do you see? And number C says draw circles around the segments to indicate or to indicate your description of these segments. Okay, this is totally up into interpretation, but you try to group them together, kind of you see which ones are grouping together. Let me start drawing on here. I'm gonna go shapes, oval. So once again, it's totally up to your interpretation, but it'll be actually more obvious on your assignment. So I'm gonna say that's a segment. I'm gonna say this group is a segment down here in the corner. I'm gonna say these guys up here. Actually, I'm gonna exclude that guy. So just this group up here. Let's see, this could be a segment as well. So hopefully this makes sense. I gotta get my middle ones. Okay, I'm also gonna say, and just do the best you can with these ovals. And finally, this one. So I'm saying I have 6 segments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I see 6 segments. Okay, I already drew the ovals. Describe the characters of these segments. Alright. So I'm going to say bottom left, and I'm referring to this segment right here. So these people, they dislike internet banking, right? Because these people really love it, these people really hate it. So bottom right, these people like internet banking. So I'll say middle left. So these people, they moderately distrust internet banking and they don't really like it. So these people, middle right, they like internet banking, but they're kind of skeptical of it. So then we go top left. These people, I mean, they're the worst. They don't trust online banking, don't like it. And finally, our